And on to our next topic. For decades, cancer was seen as an unbeatable disease. Advances in medicine indicate that this is no longer necessarily the case. But today, a major hurdle facing cancer patients is that the drugs that have proven effective are extraordinarily expensive, meaning a cure is still out of reach for most people. One of those people is Roy Westler, a 42-year-old father of two who was diagnosed this year with an advanced brain tumor. We are joined in studio by Roy's sister, Galia Westler. Good morning, Galia. Thank you for being here. And we are also joined by the director of the Oncogenetics Unit at Sheba Medical Center, Professor Eitan Friedman. We have heard from you in the press review. Thank you very much for being here as well. But before we delve into the story, let's take a look at the next report that tells the story of this outstanding medicine and how it has saved the life of another patient.
The hospice center at Sheba Medical Center does not resemble an ordinary hospital ward. It looks more like a resort. Anything to ease the time of terminal cancer patients in the final weeks of their lives. It rarely, if ever, happens that patients from here walk out of the hospital alive. But the case of 20-year-old Sapir is exceptional. She was committed here 2 months ago following a 5-year battle with lymphoma, with little hope in sight.
Nothing helped. It always came back. At some point, I stopped fighting for myself.
Why?
Because my family is more important than me.
But it looks like Sapir, who walks around sucking a lollipop with morphine, a powerful pain-killing narcotic that eases her discomfort, is about to beat the brutal statistics. 2 months ago, she began receiving a new drug that, without exaggeration, has shown sensational results.
My body was riddled with metastatic tumors, but now there are no signs of the disease. A few months ago, I was hooked up to oxygen 24/7. After 3 treatments of the drug, I was walking around without it.
The treatment includes 2 drugs that have an active agent called anti-PD-1. Unlike other cancer treatments that try to kill the cancerous cells but also damage healthy cells, the new drugs don't attack the cells themselves, but rather aid the body in attacking them, with nearly none of the side effects of the existing oncological drugs. But the cost of the drug is prohibitive, even in comparison to the most expensive existing medicines. To have a chance to live, Sapir requires 2 treatments a month over the next 2 years, costing 8 million shekels, roughly $2.3 million.
The price is astronomical. Even here, no one's heard of such an expensive drug.
So, Galia, tell us more about your brother, Roy. We said father of 2, father of 3, as we do know he has a newborn baby. What was he doing with his life before he was diagnosed with this cancer?
So, Roy Westler, my older brother, he has studied cinema and television in Sapir, and prior to that, he served in the military in the paratroopers regiment. And Roy has been he is very talented, bright person, extremely humble. And Roy has been doing a lot of documentary films. He's won a lot of awards. And recently he's also been a teacher for high school kids, recently in the Kfar Yarok. I don't know if some of the audience have heard about the donations that they were able to raise in the Kfar Yarok only from his students. An amazing gesture that they've done. It is
an incredible gesture. It just shows how much they appreciate him as a teacher and as a person. Now tell us more about the diagnosis.
So what had happened, it started about 4 months ago. Myself, I live in Vancouver in British Columbia in Canada. And one morning I wake up and as usual, I call my mom and dad. And my dad told me on the phone, he said, listen, Galia, Roy, obviously in Israel, Roy has been, he's in a hospital and he has a tumor in his brain. That's all he said. And of course, the first reaction was shock. Yeah. All of us, until today, we are extremely shocked because it has struck us suddenly. There were no signs before that. The only thing that you could say is that Roy has lost a lot of weight in the past year. It was a bit noticeable, but nobody thinks it's actually cancer.
And when people lose weight, you think it's a good thing. You don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
Yes, exactly.
So it was a
if it's
slow
voluntary,
progression.
if they mean to lose weight, losing weight in and by itself is a bad sign. It's a non-specific sign, usually of a cancerous disease.
It's a natural progression. But let's get back to what your family has been doing. We understand. Tell us more about the drug that you are trying to get your brother to receive, and how much that costs and what your family is doing to help raise money for this.
Yes, of course. So I'll just finish the first thought was that when he first was diagnosed, he was actually in a very, very severe state. It had gotten to a situation where he has hydrocephalus, which means water in the brain, and he was in a condition where he had to be operated so that they can take the water out and take him out of immediate danger. But the reason why we're now in a situation where this drug called Keytruda is our last resort, because Roy has been through 30 sessions of radiation, and he also is now doing chemotherapy, to be more exact, Thymodal treatment, and his situation has deteriorated because he's been doing MRIs ever since,
right.
and the MRI shows that the tumors have grown, and he now has 7 tumors.
Wow.
And the prognosis of the doctors is extremely bad. And so when we did our own research, to be more exact, my younger brother Eldad did his own research, and he found out about the Keytruda and about Sapir's story, which is amazing. And there has been other stories as well. We thought, well, we're not going to be sitting on the fence. We have to do something. And, I did my own, we posted on Facebook and through friends that we know. And in a very short video that I was posting as well, I said, cancer hits so many millions of people. And so if we're able to try this for my brother, we can try this for everyone. And that's why it's really important to get the donations and to get the Keytruda drug, because it's very, very expensive.
Exactly. It's tens of thousands of dollars a month. Now, Professor Friedman, why are these drugs so expensive?
It's very simple. Drug companies spend like $1 billion for each drug that they come out to the market, and in order to get one drug to the market, they have to test 5,000 of them, and it's 10 years down the road. They need to make up. I'm not justifying that, but this is the rationale. They need to make up for the amount of money that they spent on investing the drug and proving that it is effective, and it's a long and tedious pathway. I mean, you come up with drugs that work in cell culture on mice and at first trial, and then it turns out that it does absolutely nothing, and they have to check it all out. So this is why it is that expensive for every new drug in the market, and later on when the patent expires, then it becomes less expensive, but it's still a hefty investment of money in terms of the patient. Now, in order for the drug, for the companies, for the HMOs, for the health ministry and the health system to be covering a drug, it needs to be proven as effective in treating that particular cancer type. And that has not been shown with Keytruda in that specific tumor. It is a very, very rational, it's very innovative way of attacking the cancer. And basically what this drug does, it inhibits the inhibition exerted by the tumor cells into the cells of the immune system, the body's immune system. So this drug says you are already in the tumor, these immune cells. So please attack the tumor cells without attacking the non-tumor cells in the brain. So this is why there is a lot less side effects. It's been very successful in Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's been very successful in melanoma and renal cancer and head and neck tumors. Very few stories in terms of glioblastoma.
Unfortunately, we are running out of time. It is
so
very interesting now to hear how this works. But can you just quickly, Galia, just tell us what viewers can do to help raise awareness for the cause very quickly?
So what they can do is they can very simply just Google Kav L'Chaim and donate to Roy Westler's campaign.
Okay.
I can also give the phone number if that's okay. It's 03-925.
We actually have it on the screen there. But thank you very much, both of you, for being here, Professor Friedman and Galia. We wish you, family, all the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Coming up, more of the news.